Guy Gayet has been tending his orchard for 4 decades and believes the big supermarkets are rotten.
When you complain, you'll be out the door. They just discard you just like a piece of rag.
Instead, he sells his apples direct to hungry customers in markets.
If I didn't change my ways around 15 years ago, I wouldn't be here now.
For too long, we've seen supermarket chains take advantage of suppliers, our small farmers right across the country.
The voluntary code of conduct written by the supermarkets themselves a decade ago will now become mandatory and be beefed up.
If the supermarkets behave properly, they shouldn't be too worried about this.
It'll apply to the big players, Coles, Woolworths, Aldi and wholesaler Metcash, which supplies IGA, companies with an annual revenue of $5 billion.
Costco at the moment has turnover of $4.6 billion, so if it grows, it would come within the scope.
Suppliers blowing the whistle on dodgy conduct would be given the ability to report it anonymously to ease concerns about retribution, and disputes would be heard by independent mediators. Court-imposed penalties for misconduct would be $10 million or 3 times the benefit gained from the breach, or if the benefit can't be properly calculated, 10% of annual turnover. The latter could run into the billions.
I think if those penalties had been in place, we would have now seen better behaviour by the big supermarkets.
It is not the silver bullet that governments think this code is.
Something not part of the plan, powers allowing the forced breaking up of supermarket companies.
What we need is divestiture laws that will smash up the supermarket duopoly.
Why wouldn't you have divestiture powers on a commodity that underpins all life?
It sounds kind of, terrifying, but in fact it would be completely ineffective and therefore not credible.
The major supermarkets are considering how this new code of conduct will apply to them, but they do insist that the situation is nowhere near as bad as what the government and suppliers are making it out to be. There's no time frame for these new rules to be in force, and little evidence that this code in isolation will lead to better prices for Australian customers at the checkout. Matthew Doran, ABC News, Canberra.